Here on the third moon I hear a calf avoid, a delta to warn of a fled head. The shadow of vapory thought is none, inky, glacé. What dawn on an anvil will lobe, a body's plain singe, a wafer. I hear the roots in a sea's hurry form, almost to a diegesis stood, a weedy system. So ours have eyelid height, I measure one, a knife of sect, what would be heard, as though we'd choose a ditch through night's theocracy, as tidal clef. Here on the third moon I hear what happens not so far away. A small candle hearse happened to fire, where mazy linen in a gaping ring guttered. Though I approach each shadow, I hand a tariff to it, brown honey edges that widow fire, her maiden trial as cross of wax, it said. And though no mirror would teach, with rescued twins, a half-phenomenon of seeable light I dream, in what is sleep, one antique light. It winds a star, both either orb below, it said. There is no third moon. Under no seas the sea's maggot had tilted open an ear, I herein. That thin sack-carried bell will lease sanities, the irony of far and wide, 2 dice bound with 2 dice and a tiger, what time in a nettle helmet without ghosts is, as when I hear light is a stone and a guest. My shadow missleeps, a dissonance in transit, to its serenade, delaying and deaf, that it would leave if I knew no ear would try hearing. The cleric in a noon lullaby is alone. On each swarm's heredity-hollowed halo is a bee, pruning god, or a Texas moon. To hear her heart, he levitated a demography of known pain, an eponym at noon. Into it, a bee raises a darker disaster. In her appellate head, a bee goads one thought to be the center's delegate death. He may muzzle life's thorough mercy and wealth to hear hers, a solitude only she has to quantify, if there is no third moon, but a lullaby instead. A moon apple will be leafy, with deedy voices in an orchard, the moon-invested din. Numerous sprung valises frosted with what the third moon is orbited by, smaller moons. Which charm, I hear, will buy a precious stone of its season. In one tree a lyre led a twin. In one, a clue written in swans, clattering on the surface, was the scattered disciple. In two trees, the skeletal holiday would wing a wind to disperse a face's Syria. Smaller moons I might discuss, a carrion visit would be, a body the mirror hoarded, a shadow assigned to a planet, its isophotal dream shadows then. The thief was with the dead. When he wore a flowing fiery mesh, a river or retina in the February hell, I knew he came barren as science, annihilated slowly, an atom. If the dispossessor of a sense was smaller in a smaller atom, a tenant's rainy spaces, those asleep he became, those awakened. third moon, and one door has, if ruin inside a horse is ajar, a shadow with a podium. A maze has the star it desists in, any two ghosts, a broken golden horse to dwindle on in a cupboard, and the wheat-hidden body's fiat sun on it. The riddle at dusk belies a Nazca erudite earth. We may agree we hear solicited twin in the wind, a voice sinewy, ribbony, surrogate, fallow, nested to end with. We want to hear her finch, her formal saucer's cat, who are Arist's blues in the choric stars. Enough opinion, whether it notes a wise destiny in a circus story, or wakens a Nile tonight at a deadline in a body. Is the eyes real only as star count, a dusty land on a watch I engineer? I hear Ozymandias revive in it a dialect, telling the glasses tried in cracks, a billion willows stress threads, a sundiallessness of fraud, what auntie would rinse off of a looking-glass dress, the third moon. The third moon is a reminder that they mean that I'd remedy a scene in an attic nest, two halves symbolic, connected azure animal eyelids. Which reactor stacks a cloud in a leafy region, dilated near that ancient eye-hole shape, where a shadow autumn with a forest hunts in each noun? Time hit it with theatre I hear in a sternum works, posited to touch, a jewel-elected moth, a noun eternity trusted with two ideal hands. What I remember, the third moon is without that shadow. Amid the halodesic clouds, a blue, uniterated omen arbors ceaseless, sea-sequestered certainty. A mind score written, the radius sea annexes, Easter music. Entwined with liquid atom, 100 torrent-tense seas revise a planetary ring. The melody, as though I were fairy knowledge, ahead by zero's sistine shadow, awaits a solar witch as better regent, a tidal rival of its sea's ceaseless centric locus in the elsewhere in a glow.